Then we get a detective. Benton comes up. This is a young lady who was part of, I think she was also part of the homicide division. She was a crime scene investigator. She came out there to direct the photographers on which pieces of the crime scene to take pictures of. And she also was there to collect the firearms. So she pretty much didn't add a whole bunch to this whole thing, except for the fact that she went through all the pictures that were taken in her direction and showed where they found firearms in the car. Because there's like this idea also that the people inside the car were also shooting out the car, right? I guess shooting at the police. So that whole thing that's being brought in and being shown like this is why she found these firearms in the car. So of course there wasn't much cross-examining that you could do against her. She was there as a fact witness, but she kind of just like there as an expert capacity because she didn't arrest anybody. She didn't interact with the suspects, nothing like that. She didn't see any of the incident. She didn't chase nobody down. She came after it was over to document the scene, what they call memorialize the incident, right? So, that was pretty much her whole thing. And they pretty much tried to paint the picture like, hey, there's all type of stuff in this car. Like who's to say that the guys that they arrested are the ones who actually put the guns in the car? There's bait and tackle boxes in the car, tools in the car, all type of stuff, shirts, old crap in the car. There's all type of stuff in the car that they're trying to paint the picture that these guns could have also been inside the car beforehand. So, yeah, that's what happened with Detective Benton. She wasn't there for long. They did their whole thing with her. So then we get into the day. I think it was Thursday, I think. And this is the day that they didn't have any witnesses testify. This was just like what they call an administrative day. So Brian Steele gets up there to once again say, Judge, there's no way you can let this 911 phone call from this unknown person be shown in trial. There's just no way. It's unethical. Like, we're going to appeal this. You're going to look bad if you do it. Like, he pretty much was saying that in so many words. He's like, this court is going to look bad if you let this in there because, like, come on now. So they argued. They went back and forth, case law, all the type of thing. They did what they had to do. They was arguing, going back and forth for a minute. And then the judge gave Attorney Love the opportunity to come speak. And, of course, she went back to the excited utterance and the panicking and all that, because now panicking is the word that Brian Steele used. So now Attorney Love is like to use Brian Steele's word, panicking and all that. So she did what she had to do. They argued, and I'll just fast forward to the point. Judge Glanville said, we can allow this 911 call to be played. However, you have to take out, and this is at Brian Steele's direction. Pretty much Brian Steele is like, if you play this, there's no way you can put the part that says Young Thug, like take his name out of there. And the judge agreed. So I took that as a win for Young Thug, even though the state still got to play this call where it does sound like something is happening, but without the part that says the Young Thug part, I think it was Young Thug, he just shot somebody and he ran over here. Without that part and the jury not hearing that part, well, we're assuming that the jury has not been watching this trial on YouTube. But with the jury not hearing that part, with the jury not hearing that part, it could be anything, really. You never know where their mind could be going. Us as viewers, we know what she said, so our mind is already on one place. But can you imagine if we had heard that 911 call and they had removed the part that said it was Young Thug or somebody? What would we think? We might have thought that it was the victim running away from the situation who ran in her apartment, trying to escape from this whole thing. You never know what we would have thought had we not heard the full call. So I don't know what the jury is going to be thinking when they heard a call like that. But what I do know is it sounds a lot less damaging without Young Thug's name in it. I know that much. Just hearing it, I'm just like, dang, it don't even hit the same. Because the lady on the phone is like, I don't want to say too much because I'm scared. They know my kids. They know this. It sounds completely different if you say, yeah, Young Thug knows my kids and I don't want my kids to get hurt because Thug is around here. That's a whole different ballgame right there, especially in a case like this where they're trying to paint him as like some crime lord, right? So I think that was very interesting. And so the judge allows it. The next day, they bring in a veteran 911 operator or whatever. And she was a 911 operator, but she was coming in there to testify about the CAD report. The CAD report that she was discussing for for the jury was the radio traffic between police officers on the morning of that incident or the day of that incident. So pretty much it let it be known. Well, we heard some crazy details in there and some very, very, very important details that's going to make Detective Quinn look crazy. So here we go. All right. And I'm coming up towards the end of this week, right? So the CAD report says pretty much gives the whole timeline of when the police first found out about what was going on up until they secured the whole scene, right? So pretty much they're like, hey, somebody's shooting, this person running. Hey, Robeson L is yelling, hey, just shot somebody, come help. Whatever's, all of that we already know about is on there. But then as the incident progresses, what started to happen was the police started saying, hey, do we have everybody? And everybody, the police who had people start saying, yes, we got them. We got 3 individuals. That's everybody. We got 3 people. That's everybody. They kept saying it. Like, we got all 3 of them. Are we good? And then a little bit later, then they finally come back and say, pretty much somebody's like, did anybody get the woman? Right? So then they start looking like, where's this woman at? Like they said it was a woman. There's some woman that we need to go find. And so they start looking all over the area. They called a helicopter on there. So they start scanning the scene, like looking for a woman or whatever. And that's why Keith Adams was harping on that earlier in the trial, because he was trying to figure out like who's seen a woman. If these people described a woman, then why y'all trying to say it was Young Thug, right? So they said it was a woman with a wig. They on the radio scanner said they was looking for a woman in a blonde wig. So they started to scan the perimeter, scan the whole area, the Cleveland Avenue area, corridor as they was calling it, looking for a woman with a blonde wig. And one of the police officers, remember I told y'all there was a police officer testified who got emotional when she said she wanted to dress up and all that. She was the one that said it was a woman. So she's like, hey, a woman, she ran and jumped over the fence. I don't even know how she jumped over this fence because it's like a retaining wall and then a fence at the top of the retaining wall. So she's just so baffled that this woman scaled this wall like this whole time. I'm not going to say it, but whole time, so that person got away and was never found. So they never caught that woman that ran away. So now the 911 call just shows all of that. And then it's just, let me see, what else did they do? And they also, so here's the key. Here's the key. My bad. I had to check my notes. This is the key thing that I think is going to throw all this whole thing off. First of all, you got Detective Quinn deleting statements and re-recording them because he didn't like what the person said. You got that. Also, since the beginning of this trial, since the trial started, I'm talking about first witness, and I didn't know why he was doing this. Max Shard has been asking pretty much every police officer that mentioned every police officer, was there a McDonald's over there on this corner on Cleveland Avenue back in 2013? And I didn't know why he was asking. He kept asking that because he kept on asking about surveillance footage. He like, did anybody go over there and get any surveillance footage? Max Shard has been asking this the entire time since the trial started, right? And now we get to the point we find out why he was asking that. On the radio, so y'all know they don't have any video evidence of the incident that happened on this day, right? Over the radio, the police officers are saying, hey, there's a guy coming in a green Tundra. Let him in. He's the owner of the laundromat. He's going to let us see the video. Think about it. He's going to let us see the video. And then they're like, yeah, his name is Khan. Let him through. So somebody's like, hey, there's a guy here in this kind of truck. Like, is this him? They're like, yeah, let him through. And then they're like, hey, we're going, does anybody know what time the first call came through? Because we're looking at the video. We want to go straight to the part. We want to go to the right part so we can see what happened. So this tells us there was surveillance video. The police were in possession of it. The police looked at the video under the direction of the head detective in this case, which was Detective Quinn. They established that a bunch of times. Detective Quinn had access to a video, and then the video just no longer exists in this case. They did not take that video and put it in the evidence. They have been pushing on this video topic the whole time. You telling me that there was 4 people that jumped out of a car. 3 of them got caught. 2 of them were shot. And The people are trying to say that there was a woman or there was another person who got out of here. Some people are trying to insinuate it was Young Thug. Y'all had the video. Y'all saw exactly what happened, and you decided to not put that video in the evidence as the head detective. If that is not the definition of dirty playing dirty, I don't know what is. So once it's been established now, because I know the jury is thinking about it like, dang, Max Shard has been asking about this video this whole trial. We never knew why he was at, but now we know why. There was video. You hear it over the CAD, over the radio signaling. There, he's like, yeah, we're looking at the video right now. How do you have surveillance video showing the incident and then it just never makes it? And y'all realize they prosecuted 3 of them people. So they prosecuted those 3 people off the word of the cops alone, where there was surveillance video, and the surveillance video never got brought into the case. Just think about that. Detective Quinn was playing dirty, and there was a lot of police officers involved with this because Quinn wasn't the only one talking, seeing that video. Other people seen it. So I'm not saying that these 3 guys who got caught was just completely innocent. I'm just saying that if they just committed crimes that day, then just show what it was. Why are you deleting statements and getting rid of video evidence and all that type? If they really did something wrong, punish them for what they did wrong. But don't lie to make it seem like they did more than they actually did. You see what I'm saying? So I think that was telling. I think when Attorney Quinn gets on the stand, whenever they get him up there, the defense is gonna tear him apart, just because he just has too much dirty on his name. And it's just not going to look good. And now we get to what I call another legendary witness. And this is the one that I was like really on my seat, on the edge of my seat about, because remember 2 weeks ago or whatever, they had played a jail call. And on the jail call, the dude is snitching crazy. He's telling everything. He's like, man, I don't know why DK decided he got to shoot at the police. Man, this young nigga tripping, man, shooting for no reason, man. We ain't have to do all that. And I should have went with Thug. Thug jumped out the car and went that way. I went this way. I should have went with him, doing all the telling. That person from that jail call is now on the stand.